Hey, somebody put that in like the first thing in the chat, yo. Like after I say I've signed it with my phone, somebody put that in there so that I don't ever forget that. For video purposes, probably for the sake of time, I'm not going to go through it again, but for video purposes, chart AMD, right? Chart N phase, ENPH, and then chart PSX. Those are the tickers that we talked about thus far. And answering questions, to finish your question, Antoine, super order block is the last one. Super order block is the last one. But with the super order block, here's what it looks like by default. Reset settings. So by default, it's going to show me everything, including not only fair value gaps. If let me zoom in here real quick, right? Not only is it going to show fair value gaps, but it's going to show me order blocks as well too. And you can also add in, but sometimes it might be information overload. Just keeping it a stack with you, but you can also add in, check off if the fair value gap has been mitigated before. Same thing with the order block. Rejection blocks, it'll mark those out as well too, right? So, like for example, this order block also has a rejection block in it, right? Because where the body closed or opened, I should say, and where the low went. Pivots as well too. You can also ask it to plot out break of structure. So anytime there is a break of structure, it'll show it to you. So yeah, but I don't really like all that noise because I've taken the time to, what was I gonna say? I've taken the time to watch these videos over and over and over again. So I pretty much trained my eyes to see everything else. And yeah, that can stay. Yeah, all that other stuff can stay because they don't really mark out too much. But yeah, that's what I use. No problemo. All right. Um, okay. So that's PSX. Hold on one second. Oh, okay, cool. So that's PSX, right? So let's go over the oil real quick, right? I know Oxy was already popping off. No problem, Bama. I know Oxy was already popping off, but actually, first I want to show you. Um, this is how you can find plays, right? The sectors are going to tell you where the money is flowing, right? Um, oh, don't mind. Actually, I'm gonna leave that there because that's a part of my theory. Um, but yeah, so as you can see, oil is just video. I mean, after you do class. If you're talking about what I said earlier, I told you I'm gonna wait for confirmation. So you're either gonna have to be patient or put it out your head. So, because if it happens, I'll let you know. If it doesn't happen, then it doesn't happen. And what I'm seeing, I'm talking about it could take weeks. It may not, I'm not talking about something that's going to happen this week or next week or anything like that. I'm just looking at larger time frames and seeing where price potentially could reverse. Right now, I think chips are going to be bullish, especially considering the news that came out with the earthquake. There was a couple articles that came out afterwards that talked about um, food. You like honestly, you shouldn't listen to me anyway. You're not no that like see the thing you looking at stuff that you wanted to pop off in the next couple of weeks. Me, I'm a swing trader, so I will literally sit and watch the setup as it sets up. I have time, right? So I'm really good with that. All right. Right now where Nvidia is right now. If you're talking about short term, I am bullish on Nvidia. I think um, we'll look at that. We'll look at that. We'll look at that. I'm already a week out.
Full Matic, how about you look at your chart and you figure out your Nvidia thesis? Because no matter what someone else says, you have to figure it out yourself. Stop talking about that goddamn Nvidia, bro. Because you're gonna get them other people who don't know how to trade, you're gonna get them clapped.
So, yo, so yeah, we did talk about that earlier. I mean, we could look at it, but we talked about that earlier, right? Not expecting lightning to strike twice in the same place. XLE, energy. Reason why I want to point this out. Again, strat perspective. 3-2 up on the quarter, 2-2 continuation on the month, continuation on the week and the day, right? So ideally, what we're looking for is for, obviously this tells us that the bulls are here. They're buying calls. I would also even take a look at, sorry, one second. I have it already. I would also even take a look at, oil futures, see if it's kind of, showing the same signs. And the one thing I like about oil futures is that we still got some room. We definitely still got some room to the upside, right? But similar to XLE, right? We got the 2 up or the 2-1-2, 2-2 continuation on the month, on the week, and then we are currently inside day. Obviously, anything can happen with an inside day, but we could potentially keep going high. Right now, full time frame continuity is in bullish favor. So with that being said, you should be looking at tickers like CVX, XOM, MRO. I think COP is another one. SLB, Schlumberger, right? That's a little sleeper that most people don't trade as well too. But let's take a look at what's going on with CVX and why I'm talking about looking at it. So you can either do this as a lotto, but preferably I would say probably even look at it more so as a swing, because on the weekly, your next target is all the way up here at 164. So that gives you a little room to, maybe grab the 165 calls, right? We've closed the gap down here, right? This is a weekly this is a weekly structure breaking fair value gap, as well as I marked out this previous low, which if it was going to hold, right, obviously we broke through to the downside. So what was once support now becomes or should become resistance. But as you can see, price said F your couch and still went straight through it. Now, one or two things I think is going to happen with this inside candle. Either A, we come back and I'm looking for price to hold and not displace below this weekly swing. All right. And then reverse and head to the upside. Okay. Or what we're looking for is, price to just take off 2-1-2 to the upside and call it a day, basically run away and displace away from this previous low, right? As it makes its way out of the weekly fair value gap. And if we can get that going, then we could possibly look up to the 170. But for right now, I'd probably say look at the 165 for either this week or next. Looking at the daily, I also like the fact that we're moving up. This is a PMG as well too. Let me maximize so everybody can see and I'll get rid of this. I'll rechart it later. Right. So this from actually really starting from technically this candle all the way up here is a PMG setup to the upside, right? Each high, right, of the previous candle is higher than that of lower than that of the previous range, right? So what price has been doing in its very long way of doing so, it's basically been taking out target after target on its way back up. So next target to take out, as far as the PMG setup is concerned on the daily, is going to be that 160, 108. Now, um, what was I looking for? Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. Man, something about bedtime, yo. It's like my child just changed her whole attitude about like bedtime. Could be the sweetest little angel up until bedtime. Why do kids hate bedtime so much? And like as adults, we love that stuff. Anyway, the reason why I was thinking about 165 in for next week as opposed to using it as a lotto for this week, right? Um, so think of it more as a swing lotto, but it's because of this low right here. I want to see if this low, right? Because as you can see, let's get rid of this high real quick. As you can see, we haven't been able to displace above it just yet. So to me, that that's making me think like, okay, maybe this is true resistance, in which case that's why I'm saying like we might pull back, and I'm looking for this previous low on the weekly to hold as support. Also, what would help that theory, if it works out, is the fact that we have a fair value gap that's just sitting right below that as well too. And if the trend is going to be respected, then you know that would probably be a good area of support. Honestly, the better swing would be if it drops back down to like 158.99 ish, or maybe possibly a little lower, and then then if you get um, a reversal or TTO back to the upside, you can probably again grab the same strikes, just a little bit more time, and turns out to be a better swing for you. You know what I'm saying? I hope that makes sense. Sorry, I closed out of my, what you call it on that. There you go, boom. Um, Senor Jones, that's true. Because I got into that FOMO too. That's exactly how I blew up my account. Um, yeah, I would just be that. That's exactly what would make me get into play. Like, what if I miss on the run? Um, so like, believe me when I say, like, when I tell people like, there's always going to be another money making opportunity. I don't say that lightly. I say that knowing that, yeah, it's hard. It's hard sometimes to see, the run up happening. And you're like, oh my God, I'm going to miss it, right? You missed the first run up, so then you rush to go get the second one, and then yeah, that's where you get clapped. Right? It's like those people with GameStop years back. I actually still talk to one of my coworkers today that he got clapped on GameStop. Same reason, right? He missed the first like wave and thought it was gonna be forever thing. And then as soon as he got in, I think like a couple weeks later, that's when you had the downfall of GameStop. So, it's I mean, the thing is that we need to just understand that, yes, the market, yes, there's going to be runs in the market. Like right now, silver's running. Okay, cool. You missed that, and that's fine. No big deal. There's another money making opportunity out there. You just got to find it. You just got to go through the charts, and you just got to find it. Right. Case in point. Right. While everybody was focused on tech and shit, look at what Google did. This is Tuesday, March 5th. Right. So last month. So imagine around this time grabbing the 150s for 419, and then today being all the way up at 155. Tell me that wouldn't be an amazing swing. So yeah, it's just about finding it. You just got to look for it. I mean, I keep it a stack. Obviously, we did great off of this for the call up that I did, but yeah, it definitely I underestimated it. I'm gonna say that I should have given it more faith and just grabbed the 150s. Spot. Oh yeah, I heard what was it? Oh, weren't you in that? Like, didn't you? Somebody made 600% off of that, or like 700% off of that shit, or something, like, right? Didn't somebody do that? Yeah, Spot. I mean, Spot looks good to keep going, right? You just got the TTO back to the upside, so ideally, I mean, and then also you have it's tiny, but it's being respected. You got a fair value gap, a really tiny one here on the week that I took it, went over five. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, right? And to your point, first off, congratulations, Sean. For me, old me would have been like, oh shit, I need to get in spot, right? Because, you know, homie over here when it made 500% off it, I need to get involved in that. Me now is like, congratulations, and I wouldn't even look at the chart because I know there's gonna be something else out there. You know what I'm saying? The big runs, like, they don't happen often, but as long as you remain consistent, I think that's the thing people need to understand. As long as you remain consistent, those home runs are gonna eventually come. You feel me? Like the captain, Derek Jeter, didn't always swing for the fences every time the man swung the bat, right? But he obviously had some home runs. Was it some Barry Bonds level type shit? No, but he did still have some home runs because the man was consistent. Matter of fact, Hideki Matsui, I would say he's probably like the most consistent ball player that I know. Hideki Matsui for the Mariners, right? But same thing. He hit home runs, but was he always trying to hit for a home run every single time? No. Man was completely fine with getting them singles, doubles, and triples. So keep, working on your craft and keep becoming consistent, whether it be consistently knocking out 50, 60%. You know what I'm saying? Keep doing that because eventually it will turn into, the bigger plays. It will, like the AA play that I'm in right now. I have a monetary target in mind as far as not monetary. I'm sorry. I have a price target in mind as far as what AA can hit, but I didn't go into it with the mindset of, oh, I'm about to go get a home run off of this. It's more so I just wanted to be consistently green, collect my money, and let's go chart and let's go get the next one and wash, rinse, and repeat. I guarantee you do that and you watch how fast your portfolio starts changing. Real shit. Anyway, that's just I didn't mean to get on my soapbox. My bad. But to answer your question with spot, yeah, definitely still bullish. Really no signs of pullback, to be honest with you. And we're not even at all-time highs. I mean, so at least from the monthly perspective, we're looking at, hit 305. So if it were me, that's probably where I'm targeting my contract, 300, anywhere between 300 to 305, simply because I know there's, this is where the buy stops are. So this buy side liquidity right here, right, on the monthly. So I know there's buy stops above it, right? So that is the potential to, have a reversal happen, right? And if you wanted to, you could probably draw the broad information, although I think probably price will exhaust a little bit before that point and pull back. But just know that above this level of 305.60, you have buy side liquidity above that. So you got buy stops basically. Matsui was, yeah, exactly. And that's what I'm talking about, right? You don't need to be Barry Bonds because arguably you could say both of them had extremely successful careers, right? By the way, I'm not opening this conversation up to PEDs or anything like that for all you heavy baseball fans. I'm just simply making a point. You don't need to hit the home runs all the time. As a matter of fact, I gotta give like kudos to Sal on this, right? Because the trading style switched up, right? I'm pretty sure what got a lot of people, really following him, besides obviously, the mentality is more so the home run plays that the man used to put out, right? I don't want to say used to like you don't do it, but you see his focus shifted to cues, right? So with the cues now we just looking at consistency of what he's been doing. If you notice, most of those plays are not going, 3, 4, 500%. Most of those plays, the pictures at the very least that are being snapped, are anywhere between 30 to 60%. Closed, done, right? Some plays take 20 minutes, some plays take 9 minutes. But the point is the consistency of it. That's the point of it, right? Consistently, every time you put something into the market, consistently making 30%, 30 to 60% off of that, I guarantee you your whole portfolio will change. Matter of fact, I can promise you that. If you consistently are knocking out 30 to 60%, and yes, the occasional home runs, yeah, I can pretty much promise you your portfolio is going to change. All right. And honestly, the way that we should be getting these home runs is by leaving runners, right? And again, that's not to chastise anybody that leaves the full position and lets it run up. Cool, do your thing. But if you're new and you're looking for, I would say, the more cautious way to hit those home runs, yeah, secure your bag, right? Because it ain't yours until you close out the contract. The money ain't yours until you close it out. So you could look at it, run up, 16, 1700% or whatever. Oh, I'm up $10,000. Not until you take the money out. Not until you close that contract, which is the reason why you hear people say, take profits, not pictures, right? Because you don't want to sit there and just watch that thing run up and, oh, look at me, and congratulating yourself and shit. Next thing Sal getting the DM, hey man, I was up, 1,000%. Now I'm down 30. The fuck? Because you chasing the home run. Okay, now I'm really done with the soapboxing. All right. So that is honestly spot still bullish. I'll probably, like I said, probably target the 300. I know it does move $8 a day, so I know it can definitely annihilate that 300 or the 305. But I would say if you're doing it as a lotto for this week, yeah, 300. If you're doing it like to swing it, maybe a week out or something like that, I'd probably say look at the 305. Excuse me. Just be aware of what price is doing around the 305.60. I'm not saying it's going to reverse, but you do want to be aware of that level. All right. Okay. One thing I was telling the beginners sector to look at, it's not one of the normal ones, but um, look at cruise. Cruise is a sector that showcases hotel, airlines, and cruise tickers. If you have my sectors holding list, which is somewhere in the education tab, if not, DM me, I'll send it to you. Cruise is in there and it shows you what tickers are a part of that ETF. And I should probably think of updating to make sure there were no changes recently to any sectors. But what I'm looking at with Cruise is one on the monthly so far, right? The fair value gap is, I'm sorry, not the fair value gap because it's still being created. Um, the high over here, that's what I wanted to say. The previous high is still being respected. We don't have a change in state of delivery just yet, and we have not broken structure to the downside. When you look at the week, yep, absolutely. That is definitely an outside candle. But again, um, we're still respecting the fair value gap over, actually that's the daily. So let me do this. Boom, there you go. Now that goes away. And right, so we haven't displaced below it. So obviously I would want to see, from a swing standpoint, I want to see how this candle closes, but we have not been able to displace below it. Price is sitting right on the 50% retrace of this fair value gap over here. So this could very well just be the pullback that was needed. And then you might see price start to move back up. On the daily, we do have a gap fill above, um, as well. So we can see what happens. Obviously, we still have, and even with this candle, we didn't displace below the 50% of this fair value gap. So what we could see tomorrow is a potential 2-2 reversal. Potential areas of where we can possibly find resistance going to be at 22.31, this low right here, considering that we wicked off of that. However, if this sector does reverse and starts heading back up, as you can see on the larger time frames, we're still in the uptrend, right? The quarter took, so far we took the quarter up, but we obviously are seeing a little bit of a pullback, that's completely fine. That's completely normal. I'm not ready to say reversal just yet. Could just be a retracement like what you're seeing here on the daily before the next leg up. With that being said, definitely look at CCL, it is still different. It is still bearish. So this is not a lotto thing. This is more of a swing. But if you look at CCL on the weekly, we're right at OTE levels. And we have not, so one of the theories, not theories, I guess, but one of the things I'm working on with the fair value gaps in the videos that I've been watching are inversion fair value gaps, or just seeing how well it's respected, right? Even though it got broken here, obviously it came back up. Now it's coming back to test that same fair value gap. So one or two things will happen. Either we bounce and displace out of this, or it's going to take out the bottom side of it, come back to retest, and then ultimately move lower, in which case I can change up my bias and start thinking about puts. All right. But yeah, keep cruise on your radar. Now, as far as I know, a lot of people are thinking bullish, but I want you to, kind of start wrapping your heads around potentially bearish moves like what we're seeing in the cloud sector, right? We are in an uptrend, obviously, right? As you can see on the quarter. However, it's been a pretty serious run. So what you may see is, the pullback, correctional activity. I think the biggest thing would be to see if price takes out this low at 24.36 on the weekly. I think if that happens, we can probably see price start to move lower and seek out liquidity down here at 23 and possibly what it can do around the fair value gap over here. So with FCLD kind of looking a little weak, I know we got the 2-2 reversal here, but to me, right, the daily is the only thing that's bullish. All other time frames are currently bearish. I know we got inside month and inside quarter, but again, currently bearish. Looking at the week, we have not been able to displace over the past over the past 4 weeks, we have not been able to displace above this level of 25.27. Actually, shit, it even goes back further than that because we couldn't displace on this level, on this candle, that candle, or that candle. So clearly some very strong resistance. So I would watch that. If we end up going bullish for the rest of the week, I would say look to see what price does around that 25.27. If you're seeing that it's struggling to get above that and it's wicking off of that, honestly, you might be time to start thinking puts on snow. I know I was bullish. I know I'm bullish on CRM, but watch that as well too. What's the other one? Now, NOW. I think it's called Service Now. I think they're in cloud as well too. So yeah, those are definitely some to look at, for sure. I mean, that's really all I got as far as because I know y'all are looking at NVIDIA. I know that for sure. I talked about, I said somebody don't let me forget TSM. So let's go to TSM first, real quick. Let's look at it fresh. All right. So, like I said, there was an article that came out about, supply not really being affected. So I would say pay attention to chips for the next 2 days. Those might potentially run. TSM especially. We got the Nirvana on the daily, so we're looking for the 132 up. Just could not take out this high of 142.96. But if we can take it out, the next liquidity is all the way up at 146.70. So could turn out to be a very, very nice run. Obviously if the bulls want to step in. And again, looking at it from the weekly, daily liquidity is up there, but then weekly liquidity is all the way up at 158.40, which puts us back at all-time highs. So that might be the catalyst, even though, the earthquake happened and hopefully everybody's okay. And I'm glad there was no tsunami. I know there was a tsunami warning, but, if they're saying that, supplies, nothing's going to be affected, then to me, if production's not going to be affected, to me, Market's probably going to look at that as business as usual, and yeah, you might see a bullish move on chips. So what I would probably be targeting, um, the 142.96. If you're going to go strat wise, that would be your entry. I would probably target the 145. Right, ATR is $4 a day, so it can hit 145 tomorrow. And then if from 145, if it starts going up higher into Friday, then this turns out to be an amazing swing or 2 day swing lotto, I guess, whatever way you want to look at it. Um, but I really love how it's still respecting the high on the weekly as well too. So that also makes me feel like, hey, we're probably going to catch a reversal here on TSM back to the upside. So again, 145C either this week or possibly next. I'm saying that without having looked at the contract. So make sure you still check in volume. Make sure you still check in open interest, delta. Make sure you're okay with the theta as well too. Because remember, if the theta is high, time is not going to be your friend. If the theta is high, then you may want to think about looking at the 145s for next week. If you're looking at 419 expiration, I'll probably look at 145 or 150, especially if we close very well on Thursday and Friday. All right, so that's TSM. And then the last one, NVIDIA. All right, so NVIDIA, right now, full time frame continuity on NVIDIA is bearish, but I digress. Let me see where it's currently at right now after hours, because I know that thing likes to do that thing. Last time. Oh, so it's only up $5. Erased all of its losses today. God damn. Nvidia is a beast. So no, it hasn't triggered the day up yet. It would need to go get above 904. So yeah, still room there. But simply put on Nvidia, right? Obviously the trend is still bullish. If you ask me, I think a good correction is not a bad thing. But we'll see. If we can get the two up, tomorrow, the two up continuation, now we don't have to worry about this previous low acting as potential resistance. I think that would also 903. Yeah, if we trigger the day up, that flips the week green as well too. And also the month and also the quarter. Oh, look at that shit. Yeah, so basically, if Nvidia gets above, if Nvidia triggers the day up, all your full time frame continuity flips bullish. In which case, yeah, probably gonna seek out liquidity up at the top, probably back up to 960, 970s. Obviously, watch out for what it does around 925, but yeah, knowing Nvidia, it's probably gonna try to seek out that liquidity and take that out possibly as it goes up higher. The only thing I would say to worry about, like as far as that, another reason why I say to worry about that high is because that's a bearish fair value gap that it's going to have to fight through. But yeah, if it can break above this high and keep it pushing, then yeah, I would say liquidity.
Man, I wish you would. I wish you wouldn't even put this tick up here, bro.
Well, some people ask. I always go over it.
Man, that ain't nobody but Food Matic fucking ass. And man, they man, now they gonna keep their fucking eyes on this shit, bro, and they gonna get clapped. Cause some of them, if they get 40, 60% or they get 100%, there's not enough for them.
So I would say to that, anybody watching NVIDIA, I would probably focus more so on TSM more so than NVIDIA. If I had to choose which setup I like more in chips right now, I would probably say TSM, and AMD would probably be second. NVIDIA, not so. So here, okay, so look, I'm not bearish on NVIDIA, right? But I don't like how it one is still staying. I needed to displace above this low of 891.23. I needed to do that. Right.
D
And
book, hold up. D bookworm, get on the mic.
I don't know if I did I give them permission?
She, I don't know.
Yeah, y'all can unmute yourselves.
D book, double dollar, whatever. That's that's the chick.
Doubled with the dollars. Oh, that's D Book.
Yeah.
Hey, I gotta apologize, DD Bookworm. I thought you was a dude too. I'm gonna keep it a stack. That's not a shot at you. So I gotta apologize. Um, yo, QCOM, I had actually put in the previous video last week.
She say it's not letting her unmute.
It's not letting you unmute. Yeah, hold up. Yeah, allow participants to unmute. All right, 1 second. 1 second. Oh no. Yeah, Casella, if you can unmute yourself, I did the same thing. Yeah, everybody can.
Yeah, it's working on my end.
Yeah. So yeah, while y'all figure that part out. Yeah, QCOM was um definitely one I had talked about in previous videos. And matter of fact, should still look good, actually. It's continuations, but yeah, should still look good. Oh, it took out my high. Oh yeah. So definitely, yeah. Buy side liquidity is gonna seek out that buy side liquidity at 177. So I'll probably look at QCOM 175s or 180s, honestly. But yeah, it did exactly. Where's Monday? Monday's right here. Yeah, right. So it hit relative equal highs, right? Couldn't get past it. So I took my eyes off of it the following day. Um, and that's okay. I really should have just watched it at the end of the day, and then this would have been strat entry trigger to the upside. Where is it? The entry right there. That would have been beautiful entry at 171.40 for it to run up to 173. It took out this high and also took out that high. So if we can hold above the high at 173.90, then yeah, we looking at buy side liquidity up at 177 for sure. Unable to access my. Oh, that has nothing to do with me, D. That has to do with you and your computer. You have a privacy setting. Um, yeah, you got to go to settings and then go to privacy and microphone. You have a privacy setting that won't allow your computer is not allowing Zoom to access your microphone. That's why it's doing that. Yeah, that's not me. Um, yeah, it does. Yeah, one time this week. Yep, want to see. Yep. Yeah, that was one of the ones I had talked about. I know you put in MU. I honestly, I gotta admit, I tend to drop the ball with MU because I get so focused on AMD, NVIDIA, and TSM, But yeah, I mean, it's bullish, right? The only thing I don't like about it is that it's at all-time highs, but it's not really showing any signs of. God damn, y'all remember when MU was in the 80s, bro? Whoa, that's wild. That is wild. But anyway, um, yeah, no, it still looked good. I mean, again, because it's all-time high, psych level probably telling you 130, possibly 140. But yeah, I mean, let me see what's the 270 looking like? Because if the 270 is giving us, yeah, 270 giving a hammer above a high too, the 3-2, yeah, I would probably say it's probably going to hit 130, possibly. Possibly finish the week out, at 135, assuming that we're still bullish the rest of the way. But yeah, it looks good. Looks good. And yeah, the reason why I like chips is, just looking at the sector as well too. We got the 2-2 reversal, and we're currently in force. Not quite, in force on the week just yet. So ideally, I would want to see it You know, I would want to see the week kind of closing close to or above 230, which obviously you could still do that by weekend. But yeah, it looks good to me. It's still looking pretty strong. Looking for the 2-2 continuation tomorrow, really. So yeah, TSM, I'll probably go TSM, AMD, QCOM. I honestly like Nvidia setup is not looking the best to me right now. So yeah, it might be the other tickers that are carrying Nvidia, yo.
Hey, y'all! I unmuted my computer now.
Yeah, what's up? I'm not sure why I asked you to come off the mic, but yeah, I'm saying what's up.
Yeah, why do you say like? Why do you say you know it's going to 1,000? Like, what on the charts is saying 1,000?
No, I said past tense. I knew because it went to 9 something and then it had all that news and
Oh, the 970?
yeah.
Ah, got you.
And the
Got,
970 got hit by broad information,
got you.
so price
Oh,
exhausted.
okay. Oh,
Hmm.
okay. But then all that news came out after it. But I've learned now. I understand now.
Yeah, not a chastising thing, but remember,
Oh yeah,
so
this is a chastising thing. Oh yeah, it is. Cause
I get it now, Sal.
you got to understand this here, man. You can't just get in trades because you think you know something. You have to get in them because that's what the charts are telling you. You know, because if not, you're gonna continually be cooked. You know, what strike and what expiration you in?
The 419.
1,000 strikes.
Yes.
What is your field?
Um, Now it's at 5 something.
What you mean? So you bought a contract for $500 then?
No, it was more than that.
oh no, your fill is he's asking what did you pay for, not what it currently costs right now.
I bought them at different times.
Huh? How many contracts you got?
4.
Hold up. So, with all due respect, you know, just a few weeks ago, you started learning how to chart, correct?
Yes.
Now, do you seriously think that as a ticker you should be in four contracts deep with the price per contract that it costs?
It was doing well, and then I guess I got greedy and it just kept dropping.
All right, let's talk this through, right? I want to understand. All right, let me clean this shit out. Boom. All right, so we're looking at naked candle, right? Um, can you remember around the time that you got in, if you don't mind me asking? Like what day? Do you remember?
Look
It
on
was
your
back
Just
in
look on your hold up, look on your contract and tell us what, like, you know, the field and the date.
yeah, I'm not doing this to make funny. I'm really like let's play this out. I'm gonna use bar rewind. Let's actually look at what you were looking at to help you see. Because you know, hey, you could be right. Like you saw something.
Hold up, you was in Nvidia when it went to $3,000 a coin too, right?
Me?
No, her.
Oh,
when was that?
then in that case, no, she wasn't. She remember that. You will remember that. You will remember that. But just give me a ballpark. Week ago, 19.
No, it was I was in it before Sal.
Like in
So
February?
you was in profit at some point then.
I have
For-
profited and then got back in
Right. So yeah, that's what
a
we
few
asking, right?
times.
Forget the initial profit, right? This current contract that you're in right now, the one that's down, I assume it's down. When did that start?
Um, I think it was a week before Sal called it
So when did you
So
call
you
that?
should so she should still be in profit then.
in
When did
profit.
when did you call it? Hold up.
I think in the eights or something like that. I'm not sure. I don't remember.
Give me a second. I got you. 1 second, y'all. Y'all bear with us because this is important. I really want I want everybody, like, this is how important, bar rewind is, right? I want, if you have it on your contract, or excuse me, on your trading view, utilize it, right? Especially with tickers that may not have gone your way. Damn, Sal, there's a lot of QQQ in your channel. Hold up. QQQ, QQQ. Yo, you just, it's like you might as well just rename your shit to Q's. Tesla 200.
What date? What date do you have on your contract? Like, what date have you entered? I mean, like, got in it on your contracts. It says that on your contracts.
It's for the
Did-
419 date.
No, not the
no,
expiration.
I'm talking about the day that you got in on it, not the expiration.
I don't remember. I've gotten in and out so many times.
It's all right. Okay. Last time, Sal, you
Yes,
mentioned.
yes, I was in profit, but it wasn't enough profit. So I guess I was
I'm
greedy
saying
because
no. I'm
it
talking
did
about
go up.
though. All right, look on your contracts current that you have currently, right?
Uh-huh.
And tell us the date that you entered. It has the day that you entered the trade on there.
Boom.
What platform are you using?
TD Ameritrade.
I can't even walk you
Thinkorswim.
through.
Yeah, me
Go to your
neither.
orders and go to orders and go to all field and see what day it was filled.
I think it was here. The last time you mentioned, Sal, NVIDIA was back on the 26th, right? So here's Monday, right? So I would assume, I'm sorry, 26th. Well, then in
She
that
said.
case,
She said a week before.
a week before, so then Monday, Tuesday, Monday. Okay. So then, well, shit, then yeah, you should be in profit.
That's what I'm saying. She should still be in profit.
How can I be in profit if it goes up and down out of profit? I was in profit yesterday, but it was 1,000. I thought it was going higher.
But okay, so the
Because
reason I'm saying that is because, all right, so let's say anywhere, if you entered anywhere on Monday, well, no, because even if you entered at the high side, eventually by the time we get to the end of the week last week, yeah, you're in profit.
see, when you see, pretty much you got a way better entry than I did and got it cheaper. So that means you should definitely still be in profit.
Right.
You
So
know,
if I'm sorry, go ahead, Sal, my bad.
it has probably went down some, but you're still in profit. Gotta be.
Down a lot.
No, then okay,
Yeah,
there's
that's
something wrong
not.
with
It's not
entry.
making sense.
Then
How
then you
much
probably
did you?
then you probably entered up here then somewhere around like 960 something then or 940, like somewhere between here then, because the next down candle is this one that takes it all the way back down to 925. And then from that point, it takes it even lower. So I would say it probably wasn't here. It probably was one of these two candles, if I mean keeping it a stack. So I'm again not trying to like, point you out or anything like that, right? What I really wanted to do was kind of just illustrate and kind of see. So if you were seeing this type of a setup, or hell, even with this, right? Let's take this away. Okay, so if you're seeing this type of a setup, all right. So yes, I get it. It triggered to the upside. So with the next candle, your entry should have been there if the next candle goes up above that, right? But I think the one thing is forgetting, remembering stop losses as well too. I don't know if you're playing stop losses, but if you're playing with something heavy like that and you're just a beginner, I think you should, right? And please don't take that as me like trying to knock you or anything like that. But I do think you should do stop losses. So if it were me trading as you, if what's going to happen for me is if the next candle triggers to the upside, cool, right? No matter how long I'm in it, if it ever triggers my stop loss, I'm out of it at that point, right? So what happens on the next candle
Okay.
is we go up.
Also, like, how much are you down percentage wise? The book.
82%.
Wait, you're okay. So, ooh,
Let me
okay.
ask you, let me ask, like, what made you not get out of that then, if you don't mind me asking?
I should have got out last Monday when I was really in profit, not just $1,000, but I thought it was going to 1,000 because it had all that good news. But you said that's wrong, so now I get it.
It's not.
That's not
It's
a good reason.
you, okay. Give me a sec. Okay, you
You,
can't
you,
you can't
the
think
the
of the
news, hold
news.
the news, it doesn't move charts all the time. Your news, I mean, um, with something like this here costing expensive as it is, and I'm going to assume that you don't have a big portfolio, correct?
No.
Okay,
So
that's fine.
your job is to always protect your capital at all costs. And
Right.
Nvidia contracts cost pretty expensive, right? You go down 15, you go down 20%, you down some quite a bit of money in a small account, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so that's what you gotta trump over anything else, protecting your capital and building your capital. You
Right.
know,
If I could add
I'm,
to if I could add to that, right? If you have so remember, there are other tickers that can play in sympathy to these bigger tickers, right? I'm never telling you never to touch. I'm not telling you to never touch Nvidia again in your life. But if Nvidia is running, then you could have caught MU, which is a much cheaper ticker comparative to Nvidia. You get like honestly, if you look at the comparison, you honestly probably would have done better with a cheaper ticker, and you can see this one would have been in profit, right? So that's one thing I want you to kind of focus on as well, of looking at other, like if you see a large ticker and it's like, okay, that's an amazing setup, right? But being honest with you,
to answer Food Matic, he said average down. Hell no, that's the wrong thing to do
well,
because you
no,
know average down.
she's at negative 82%. I didn't know. I wouldn't do that at this point. I would not.
No,
And look, I'm even gonna say what I'm saying now. Even if Nvidia runs up tomorrow, I still am saying I would not, being down 82%. No, I wouldn't average down. I, to be honest with you, again, coming back to the stop losses, right? Coming back to here, the next candle that happens, right? We up, it triggers, okay. But as soon as I'm seeing, right, we starting to come back. We just got a 2-2 reversal. Strat tells you F this stop loss. Once it starts reversing on you, you out. So technically, you should have exited there at 935 if you're following the strat. ICT right now is, obviously we don't have a break in structure. So technically, yeah, still, still the same bullish trend. But we do have a change in the state of, no, actually, that's not a swing low. Never mind. Right? But as soon as that next candle comes out and it goes even lower, nah, get out. Done. Get out. You know what I'm saying? Don't, and especially, and I want you to take that FOMO lesson that I was talking about earlier. If you was in profit off of this trade, take your money, secure your bag. You said you had 4 contracts. So if anything, if you ever take a risk like that again and you're in the green, take 2 or 3 contracts off the table. You get what I'm saying? You secure your bag, but then even if the runner flops, you still secured your bag. And on top of that, you stress free. Now we on, and I don't mean this in a funny way or making fun of you way. Now we on some hopium, hoping that NVIDIA, oh, sorry, my bad. Hoping that NVIDIA does something tomorrow or possibly into next week, because you have until 419, I believe you said, right? So that's one thing. Another thing is if you look at, and this is again a lesson for everybody, right? This is not, pounding on or making fun of, right? So what you see on the full time frame continuity, days up, weeks down, month up, quarters up, right? Okay, but two things. We made a high over here. Just again, something for you to look at. We made a high over here, tried to come back and retest that same high, failed, right? We are exhausting literally in the same exact range as last time. So for me, looking at that and seeing that price is having an issue getting above this level, to me, I know it's not a shooter, but looking at that would make me think, okay, we may potentially pull back on this. We might actually get a pullback on this. And then we wait for that confirmation. And if anything, keeping it a stack, puts would have actually paid you from 935. Let me see what the next candle does. Did you drop any more? So from 935 and what? You get a low all the way down here of, what's that, 908?
Man, look, a lot of people problem, they just think calls, bullish. Last week, man, motherfuckers could have made a bag off of shutting the fuck out of NVIDIA. You know, I put the chart up in the my analysis tab. Ain't too many people looked at it though, cause they fixated on bullish, bullish side of things. And so if it's short, they're not even touching, which is, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what type of thinking it is. But I mean, shit, you could have got paid, every dollar you got into that trade now,
Yeah. So again, not a make fun of you thing. And what I'm explaining is not specifically just for you, Didi. It's really, there's other beginners in here, so I appreciate you allowing me to use you as an example. Not you, but the ticker that you're in, the trade that you're in, as an example. I kind of wish more people would speak up like that, because again, this ain't about making fun of. This is so that everyone else can also see, like, hey, these are the things to look out for when I would always recommend that whenever you're looking at a ticker and you're seeing or you have a bias, now look at it from the other point of view. Where could price, if you're bullish on this, where could price potentially find a hiccup? Where could it find resistance, right? Is displacing below this low, right? Below this previous low.
Hold up. She says to be honest, she really can't catch everything on this chart. It looks static. What you mean it looks static?
Like I have too much stuff on it, you're saying? I mean, if that's cool, I can remove some stuff. That's cool. Hold up. Boom. What you want? What else you take off the order block stuff? There you go. I could take that off too. We could just keep it strat. There you go. Better? Pure strat. That's it. Nothing else. I ain't got no other tickers. All it just got is the numbers up. Right? So for me, what I'm looking at is, again, so I know we'll talk about identifying swing lows and swing highs in different times and different videos, but I'm seeing this swing low here. And then again, when price passes below that low, this low is supposed to act as support while price is above it. But once it breaks through it, right, and dips, actually, yeah, we get our first displacement below it with this candle, not that one. So once it displaces below it, now we see if price is going to use it as to use it as resistance to move lower. Again, not saying that's going to happen tomorrow, but if the next candle again hits this and displaces below, honestly, yeah, I could potentially see, price falling back a little bit lower, maybe to come down and take out this low down here at 850. What's that back where do you have the price targets with if it is day, week, month? Marking that stuff out, it helps when you have some things labeled. Oh, yeah. He does that. I do it, but I try not to do that on the videos because sometimes I feel like all those lines would confuse people. But yeah, I mean, I can certainly do that going forward. But yeah, marking out what previous week open was, previous week close, and I do have that on some of my other tickers as well too. And I do pay attention to that, like previous monthly. I can't think of the ticker right now, but there's actually one. Oh, actually, is it AA? Yeah, see, I have it labeled the previous monthly low. I use that if we go to the month, right? Previous monthly low that we just crossed back above. So I use that, and I zoomed in on the smaller time frames to tell me if, price is going to respect this now as support. And that, well, not ultimately, but that was one of the reasons why I got into AA that day, because it came back and respected on Monday. It came back and respected it and then started displacing away from it. So, that's ultimately what made me jump into that. And then, the rest is history, as they said. But yeah, I could start labeling some things in the video sessions if that helps. Because yeah, that's the whole point of it. Again, it's not to ridicule it, it's really help. And the best way to help is just being purely honest and reviewing, not just bad trades, but good ones as well too. I'm sorry, somebody had asked a question about Oracle in the chat earlier. Let me see if I can
Yeah.
get back to that.
I was asking on on a daily that the day before today's counter, would that be an example of a liquidity grab?
Oh, because it took out this low over here. Yeah,
And people
yeah,
stop.
it took out the low but couldn't displace below it. Yeah, yeah. So
Oh,
liquidity grabs, yeah, when you see that, it's kind of like for the stratters, it's kind of like when it just you see the broad information makes a lower low, right? But it obviously runs away from that broad information. That's just, like you said, liquidity grab, just grab liquidity to push it back up, and then obviously you get the 2-2 reversal back to the upside. So that's just pure manipulation, really. Is just like the power of three, right? Where you have the accumulation, the manipulation, and then the manipulation is the grab. That's the liquidity grab, right? You see,
right.
manipulate, it sinks down to take out. If you're looking at a bullish power three, comes down, takes out the lows, but you see it doesn't displace below those lows. It just wicks off of it or wicks below it and then runs back up. And then you see that obviously that reversal or distribution back to the upside. So yeah, you hit it. Yeah, you hit it right on the money. So
So
with
that distribution back to the upside, would there be like confirmation of liquidity? Like, is that when you call it liquidity? Like when it reverts back up, like how it did today?
no, the liquidity is it's below the swing lows and above the swing highs, right? So liquidity, let me get rid of this real quick. Okay, so let's open this up, right? On the daily, right? But let's say before this candle happens, right? At the time before this candle happens, your swing low is right here, right? So where's my swing low? So liquidity is below this. Your swing high is up here, right? Swing, we'll call that buy side liquidity because you do also have internal liquidity here at that's a swing high as well too. All right, so where is swing high? There you go, right? So internal liquidity, external, right? Technically this is internal as well too because it is also a swing low. So, but you get the point, right? So
Right.
what happens on the next candle is there, right? That is coming down to take out liquidity below this where your sell stops are. That's all that was. It was just a liquidity grab, right? Come down, manipulate, possibly the shorts into thinking we're about to go lower, right? We have a gap fill below. Oh, okay, we're about to go into the gap. Wrong. All that did was probably trapped some shorts in that shit. And now that it's running back up, right, you getting that buying pressure. And then once we get that reversal back to the upside, because if they got in here, their stop loss is probably there, or invalidation point is probably there, right? So once we get price going above this candle and reversing, that's triggering a lot of short stop losses. And in order for a short to get out of the trade, what do they need to do? They need to cover. In other words, buy. That adds to the buying pressure, hence the large ass candle.
Bet.
So
Appreciate it.
now what we're looking for, if you're in this trade already, we displaced above. We got a 2-2, actually we got a 3-2-2 rev strat back to the upside. And so what we're looking for now is just the next candle to trigger at 126.41, targeting internal range liquidity at 127.82.
Right. Yeah, I'm already in. I've been trying to practice liquidity. That's why I had to ask about that.
No, great question. Great question. Like real shit. I'm keeping it a stack. I am probably going to rewatch liquidity videos next month. I've been on a fair value gap tear lately. The inversion fair value gap. Been watching those videos constantly every weekend lately. So,
It
but
was
I'm gonna come back.
I mean into the trade too because on the daily it wicked off a fair value gap as well too.
On the daily, it wicked off of a fair value gap.
Well, I guess you'll just call that a regular gap.
Oh,
But
this right here, the gap fill. Oh, you talking? Oh, the one below? Yeah, no,
yeah,
that would be just a regular gap fill.
okay.
The gap fill would be here. Yeah, still an imbalance, but yeah, it would just be a regular gap fill. But you still right in what you're saying, right? Wicked into it, right? And then immediately displaced away from it. So that tells me, at least, for this candle, who knows what tomorrow may bring, but that tells me that this gap fill is going to be respected for now. And yeah, again, now we're going to look for price to target this internal range liquidity. Does that mean we're going to come all the way up to hit buy side liquidity? Not entirely, right? Because one of the things that ICT talks about in his I know people say he rants a lot, but I love his rants because he be dropping gems in that shit. So one of the things that he talks about is how price moves from external.
The rants is what you learn from.
Right. I think if I'm, and please, anybody else who's watched this, feel free to correct me, but I think he talks about how like price moves from external range liquidity to internal, and then sometimes again from internal back out to external liquidity. So, what we could see is price come back again to this internal range liquidity, but it may not get all the way up to the buy side liquidity, at least not yet immediately. However, if you're already in it and you probably targeted, well, I don't know, with the 125s or possibly 130s, yeah, you should be doing pretty well, especially if you entered somewhere down here. Hell yeah, if you enter somewhere down here, you should be pretty good, actually.
So I've been on the changing state of delivery in the turtle soup myself lately.
I love turtle soups.
I got all the. I feel like I got the fair value gaps and stuff like that pretty much down pat, the order blocks and equilibrium and stuff like that. But I'm studying, every single night of it, honestly.
Yeah, for sure. I
The
mean,
silver bullet. The
sorry, go
silver
ahead.
bullet, that shit is pretty dope too, but I mean it's like I'm addicted to learning this shit. You can't put all of it together. Yeah, I mean, at one time because it take you a little minute, but now I see
Yeah,
she said something about, how she said this shit. It helps when you write stuff on the charts.
yeah, with the way Biker does it, and that's fine. That's absolutely cool. Biker's gonna
Yeah, but I mean, I don't write nothing on my charts. I mean, I know what it is, I mean, you're supposed to be doing the homework, honestly, and I'm not, being an asshole or nothing, but man, I don't got time to write all this stuff on the charts. I mean, I know what it's doing. I mean, everybody should know how to chart,
yeah.
And honestly, sometimes I don't even write the price targets or nothing on there because I know where it's at, Like broad information, I don't draw them shits either.
Yeah, they'll get to that point. Honestly, they will. Like as long as y'all continue to keep charting, like because even now I can see two broad informations, even though I don't have them drawn out on the Oracle. And as you continue to practice that, you're gonna see it too. I promise. As you continue to practice that, yeah, you will. I promise you will. Keep whatever keep labeling. But after a while, what I do is like you see, I have all these indicated. Well, not all of them, but like with order blocks, right?
Them
When I start,
particular it's particular indicators that can help you, identify this shit. I mean, hell, they got broad information, indicators, but you need to know how to draw them and identify them yourself. It's just
Mhm.
like the ICT stuff. I can't draw all of them or identify all of them myself just by looking at them, but I'm getting better at it. Like the equilibrium. I don't know how the hell I caught on that, quicker than the fair value gaps of identifying and stuff like that.
Yep.
Because like the chain of state of delivery, that one was pretty easy from just looking at previous videos. Because a lot of this shit more or less tie into each other.
They do. But if you're on this, if I know we keep talking about ICT stuff, if you're on the strat and learning, yeah, I know I've dropped videos down. If anybody's interested in like just pure strat stuff, I'll try to make myself available on the weekends. We could just run a Zoom session on that, just answer questions based off of that and setups and how to play certain setups and what to look for, what should be my entry.
They need to look. They need to
setup.
watch them video. They need to watch them videos. That's
Yeah,
what
no,
the curriculum
I mean, it is
different.
all in the videos too. It is all in the videos too, but I might have some time coming up over the next, because I kind of stopped soccer this season. So that gives us about 6 weeks, or basically 6 weekends before I start soccer again. Where yeah, I'll have time on, to do a little something. So, just trying to, help out and, get people better. Because I know I get it. I was new too, and I made all the mistakes. But the one thing I will say though is that you got to put in the effort. You got to. If you're not gonna put it in, there's really no point in me showing you this shit, honestly. And that's not really coming down. It's just truth. If you're not willing to put forth the effort to learn it and to watch it and to be disciplined and consistent with it, then there's really no point. I could teach you this shit till I'm blue in the face, and you're gonna still make the same mental mistakes. That's again, that's just truth. It's not trying to, say y'all ain't shit or anything like that. It's just true. We can see that. We can see when people are putting forth effort, and it shows. It does. It shows. I can always tell when somebody's putting forth the work, because after a while, just keeping it 100, and I'm not saying I test anybody or whatever, but after a while, instead of asking me about what I'm looking at on a chart, they're going to tell me their play and why they're getting into it. That's how I know. Whether you're right or wrong, that's how I know, like, okay, yep, you've been putting in the time. The fact that you feel confident enough to send me a DM and tell me that tells me you've been putting in time.
I
So anyway.
appreciate the breakdown too, Tensho. That's basically what I was doing, just putting my learning to the test,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, and that's it. I mean, I would even say, like, yo, when y'all looking at the charts, talk the shit out, like, out loud. If it sounds stupid, then like I do it myself. I do. When I'm done charting, I'm looking like, and I'm hyped up and like, yeah, this about to make money. Then I just talk it out like, why is the trade gonna work, Tensho? And I talk it out loud. If it sounds dumb as shit and I don't have like a like really good setups or good
Hey,
conviction,
she say she wants to know why aren't there any broad informations on your chart, boss?
oh, because I see them with my eyes now. I don't have to draw them. But if you want, here.
You be talking to your invisible friend a lot, I know. I talk to mine pretty much all day.
I do. There's your broad information. So now you know you have a lot of space to the upside. If you want more, there's one there. Oh, my bad. There's one there. Because you can definitely have more than one broad information, just so y'all know, right? So there's another one
Man,
there.
if you draw them things the proper way, your chart's gonna look like chicken shit.
I mean, you could like legit, you could really there's way more than one, but if you want to
broad information, you got broad informations on the 5 minute.
Yeah, if you want to keep it simple though, like just go to the larger time frames and boom, boom. You could practice on those. So you see on the larger time frame, we're at the top of the range, so there's definitely room to the downside. However, don't let that shit scare you and think, hey, we're about to go puts, because obviously you still read what the chart is telling you, but the broad information just tells you where you are in the range, right? Ideally, if we want to swing calls, ideally we want to grab something on the lower end of the broad information so that when the bounce happens, we can potentially catch that run up. And again, it doesn't have to be all the way to the top, but we can potentially catch that run up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, you could, I mean, anywhere really. I could, hell, boom, same time frame, but there's another broadening formation there as well. Again, same time frame, but here's another one. And another one. I mean, I could go all day, you know, just like, and that's the thing. It's not on some bragging shit, but I'll tell you what I did. With learning the strat in a very obsessive way, every single night, 3 to 5 charts, regardless of whether I'm trading them or not. Every single fucking night, no matter how tired I was, 3 to 5 charts, quarter, month, and week, I would draw broad informations every single night to the point, and I wanted to do that to the point of where after a while, I no longer had to do that because I would see them. I would just see them already. So I didn't have to mark it out. It would already be there. And as soon as I looked at the chart, I could look at any chart and tell you like, hey, are we at the top of the range of that time frame? Yes or no. And I could tell you where we're at. So that's what I'm saying when I say you got to put in the work. I'm not telling you have to do it exactly the way that I do it, but yeah, you got to put in the work. But I guarantee you'll see the results though. And those aha moments are such confidence builders. They really are. That's why I encourage people to like, yo, please learn this shit, watch the video, because I want those aha moments to kick in for you. And I want your confidence to build and grow because once that kicks in, you're going to start noticing mentally how you're changed and how much your portfolio starts to take off. Once you're confident in the trades that you're picking, because now you know what your setup is, now you know what you're looking for, now you're looking for those parameters on different tickers, and then, you know, again, the success. All right. But yeah, that's the reason why I don't really have much. Honestly, my strat charting is very minimal at this point. I don't really even chart out stop losses because I know where the stop loss will be. I know where my entries are. You know, case in point, weekly. Let's say the week ended, and you know this is how we left with a hammer. I know that's my weekly entry to the call side, and I know that's my weekly entry down here to the put side. I know where my targets would be on the week. My target on the week would be the next high above the call entry for the high side, and then my targets to the downside would actually be all the way down here for the put side. It just, again, it's just it's really the repetition. It's really the repetition. If you keep repeating this over and over, because that's price has memory. Price tends to do the same shit and the same behavior over and over and over again. So if you start doing this repetitive stuff over and over and over again, you're gonna see the setups. You're gonna see, you know, you're gonna see it before it even happens. Now that's when you really start seeing the matrix at that point. When you start seeing the setup before the setup even sees the setup. That's when you see it. And yes, Ali's absolutely correct. I have my own personal Discord that I do that on. And when I say my own personal Discord, I mean my own, like nobody else is in that Discord. I just created a separate Discord, called it Zamunda Tensho Strat. And in there, when I'm charting out or finding swing plays or whatever, I literally write out my analysis, what I'm seeing on different time frames, you know, to help my bias. But yeah, Ali's absolutely correct.
Man, I think Sensenbara, that's a pretty unique name.
Simbonzakura? Yeah, it is. It is actually, so the name, I came up with the name.
It's a name from Zimbabwe or
No,
Ghana?
no, it has actually nothing to do with, it's not of African descent at all, actually. It's actually Japanese. It came from
Bankai.
Bankai, exactly. It came from and one of my favorite and first animes that I've ever watched called Bleach. It is a combination of both of my favorite Zanpakutos, or at least their moves. Sabonzakura is Captain Kuchiki's Zanpakuto, and then Tensho is a part of Getsuga Tensho, which is Ichigo's his move with his
It
Zanpakuto.
sounds like they remind me of Cochise from Cornbread Early Me.
The what?
They remind me of Cochise from Cornbread Early Me.
I don't even know what that means. But come on, bro, Doc Walls. I don't know what that means, Doc. You dating us now? Bleach cannot be your first anime. Yeah, that was the first anime that was that I was
Miss
introduced
Tina
to.
know Miss Tina know what Cornbread Early Me is.
I guess. Tina, you're gonna have to inform me. You're gonna have to shoot me a DM or something to let me know. But yeah, Doc, that was the first one that I was. Oh, Cornbread Earl. Oh, oh. I thought he said. Never mind. Okay,
Man,
back to what we talking about.
when Cochise got his ass whooped, they got me in my feelings, cuz.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So yeah, Doc, to you. Yeah, that was I had never known about anime before that point, to be honest with you. But yeah. Anyway, Didi, I hope that answers your question as far as that. So just to recap, unless you want to look at other things, just to recap, right? AMD, I would definitely chart that out. TSM, definitely chart that out. CVX, don't sleep on oil, people. Do not sleep on oil. CVX is inside day, so make sure you chart that out as well too. I gave you, I don't remember all the strikes I said, but I gave them to you. You got in CRM, I know it pulled back, but we ain't quite displayed. So I think we may, oh, that's the week. Never mind. Hold on. My bad. Yeah, so I mean, it is kind of shooter vibes, but it's still a 3-2 up, and it ended in force. So I wouldn't think, like, I know FCLD is still weak, but I wouldn't trust the chart, right? Right now the chart is not telling me just yet like bearishness. Obviously, with this exhaustion, we might catch a reversal, end up with a 3-2-2 rev strat back to the downside. But again, don't bank on that. Take what the chart is giving you. So me getting mine whooped didn't get you in your feelings. Oh, that's a question for Sal. I'm gonna stay out of that one. But yeah, y'all get the point. And this weekend, do me a favor, yo. Look at all the other.
Hold on. Why would so me getting mine whooped didn't get me?
I don't know what that means.
No. Yeah, I'm about to say because I really standing that trade to 82%. That's what got me in my feelings, not D-Book.
Yeah. I know sometimes we talk about not like having a stop loss and like because I'm gonna keep it a stack for like the AA trade I'm in. I didn't really have a stop loss, right? But that takes time. That takes time to get to that point. You know what I'm saying? And if it comes down to like if you see it was in profit and it's already starting to come down to that low, like yeah, cut that shit. Just be done with it. Move on to the next one, right? That's if you're going by true strat principles, we do not stay in losers. We cut them immediately, right? I'll admit I don't completely follow because sometimes, like again, as a swing trader, I'm okay with shit going down -20, -30%. I'm okay with that. I'm not gonna trip about that. But strap wise, as soon as you see red, shit tells you to cut it. Call it a day. All right. But yeah, definitely chart those out. Again, some of these are not just for lotto setups. Some of these are a little bit longer term, as far as like a week out or 2 weeks out or something like that. I'm gonna try to this week I'm gonna try to find some a little bit more. Pay attention to my channel. I'm gonna try to find a little bit more like mid-level friendly. I won't say completely small ticker friendly, like small account friendly. But you know, somewhere I would say probably like somewhere between, you know, contract probably worth $1 to possibly $300, somewhere around there. But yeah, I think I'm gonna look for something like that. I'll post something like that out there. That might be a good swing setup. So, you know, we could just do this shit stress free, right? While you studying, because I used to love that. That's why I love swing trading while learning, because I could get into a play, and you know that thing is doing its thing, running up or whatever. In the meantime, I'm not necessarily charting out that ticker or nail biting, looking at it to make sure it triggers. I'm literally charting 3 to 5 other tickers and possibly setting up my next swing. You feel me? I hope that makes sense, right? So anyway, unless there's any other questions, I'm gonna say love, peace, and chicken grease. I'm gonna see y'all in the chat. I don't really have too many meetings tomorrow, so I'll probably be a little bit more talkative, like I was today. Unless it's a boring day in the market, in which case I'll probably just focus on work. Oh, that's another thing I want to say for newbies. Hey, listen, as y'all see, the market ain't always gonna be pumping. Market ain't always gonna be dumping either, right? Sometimes the market just consolidates. Sometimes the market just ranges. And I get it. Those are some pretty boring ass days, right? But just use that as time to study, you know, keep it a stack. Last week when it was kind of ranging a little bit, or was that 2 weeks ago? I mean, honestly, I was watching T-Trade's videos on lunch at work because it like I knew price wasn't gonna do shit for that day. So fuck it. Learn like you can. I'm saying that to say you can always gain something every day. Don't let the day go to waste, even if you're not making money or if maybe your trade didn't trigger yet or whatever. You can still level up. All right, I'm off my soapbox. Y'all have a great night. Love, peace, and chicken grease. I'll go ahead and post once this is done converting. I'll go ahead and post it tonight. Not really sleeping. Plus, I got some charting to do. I want to look at some more quarterly and monthly charts, kind of see what the next setup is. Oh,
Hey,
one other.
Tensho,
Yeah,
it's Drake. Another pointer to what you just said. Like when the market is really slow and ranging, you can take that time to also study setups. The really small time frames, so like everybody can't get access to like the 15 seconds. But if you're looking at like the 1 minute charts on stuff like, you know, like futures, those still move in the same way. Because remember, time frame is fractal, right? So they still move in the same way that you would want to see the larger time frames move, where you actually see the movement and the volatility. They still move the same way. You can study that too, even though you're not trading.
facts. I wonder if this is going to turn into an inversion setup. Ooh wee. That'll be, but I know it's only the minute, but yeah, that'll be pretty freaking sweet actually. We pull back, use that as support, and gone, bitch. All right. Anyway, all right, y'all. Don't worry about what I just.
If y'all looking to get into feng shui, Drake is a certified feng shui teacher too.
You're nuts.
I was just about to say there is no such thing as a. I'm like Drake. No disrespect, but there's no such thing as a feng. Like what? No problem, Senor Joe. Yeah, if y'all have questions, don't hesitate to reach out in the beginner chat. Tag me. Just keep in mind and be patient because I may not answer you immediately. I'm just keeping the stack. No, I'm not ignoring you, but I may not answer you immediately, or I'm possibly thinking about the best way to answer you. For some answers, I give a just write out the answer. For other answers, I think it would be beneficial more for you to learn visually from it. So, like with Better World Peace, I dropped a video for him about his question having to do with fair value gaps, structure breaking fair value gaps to be specific. So yeah, just ask the questions. I'm pretty sure some of the other admins will be in there as well too to answer the same questions. Biker's really good at strat and really good at fibs as well too. So if any of one of y'all were wondering about that OTE entry that has to do with fibs, reach out to Biker. He can certainly answer those questions. For those of you, if this is like your first time in a Zoom session, welcome. Thank you for staying up with me so late. I hope this was informative and hopefully it was helpful. And yeah, don't be afraid to put out questions, right? And don't be afraid to put out tickers like, here's my analysis on this ticker. Worst thing we're gonna tell you is like, nah, you way off. Best thing we're gonna tell you is like, yeah, I agree with you. I see it. And then we just gotta execute. All right. All right, Joe. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Good night.